to be our own God. And that battle, that yin-yang battle in our lives, is what is the great battle of the universe. Now, here's my point. This guy is spiritually paralyzed. But he's also physically paralyzed. Because the truth is, spiritual paralysis leads to physical problems. There are problems that we have physically that are purely genetic. There are things that we can do nothing about. There are things that you pick up when somebody sneezes on you. But the more we learn about medicine, the more we are learning that many of the diseases that we face are also diseases that are brought on because of stress, that are brought on because of lifestyle habits, and are brought on because of things we allow to build up in the spiritual side of our lives. University of Minnesota did a study not too long ago. They wanted to know what happens to people who give money to charity, who go to church or to synagogue. It was not a Christian study. They just wanted to know people who are more at peace with themselves, what happens to them. And they were very surprised that people who are givers, not takers, people who go to church or synagogue or even mosque, but have relationships with others outside, who look outward in their lives instead of inward, who don't hold in grudges and bitternesses, but let them go. They found that those people live between 8 to 10 years longer. They have less diabetes. They have less heart problems. Now, there are people that have those issues. I mean, I've got some heart problems, but I inherited them from my father. But I want to tell you something. There are a lot of things in our lives that either are caused or are exacerbated and made far worse because of lifestyle and because of how we deal with life. It's unquestionable. Science is catching up with the Bible with the fact that, man, when you are paralyzed inside, it paralyzes the outside eventually. Drop the pebble in the pond and watch the ripples go all the way to the edges and fringes. Everything in your life is touched by the paralysis of the heart. What does it mean to be paralyzed? Let's describe this paralyzed man. 4 things. Number 1, he has no peace. See, if you're here in this room tonight and you do not have a healthy relationship at your core with Jesus Christ, you don't have peace. See, the Bible says when you accept Christ, you receive a peace that passes all understanding and guards your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. I know a lot of people out there who have money, but they have no peace. I know people out there who have no money and have no peace. I know people that are well educated and have no peace. And I know people who are angry and bitter and have no education that have no peace. It has nothing to do with how much money you got or how much education you got. The bottom line is most people on this planet have no peace. And the reason for it is they're paralyzed spiritually because they don't know Christ. If you don't have a relationship with the God who made you, then you go through your entire life without peace. I'm asking you tonight, do you have peace that passes all understanding? I've had 3 times in my life when I thought I was going to die. Once was when I was put in a jail in Romania when it was still a communist country. Spent 17 hours with the secret police when it was still under the Ceausescu's. I've been exiled from Romania. Wasn't able to go back until after I was in jail there twice overnight. I'll tell you something. They just wanted information from me. When they stripped you naked and you've been with the secret police for 17 hours and they're holding an AK-47 at your head, you know, it doesn't matter whether they can kill me or not. I thought they were. I was 28 years old. It don't matter whether they were or not. I thought they were. I would have wet my pants if I could have, but I didn't have any on. And I was too scared. But I can tell you, as much as I did not want to die, I wasn't afraid of what would happen to me. Once I was in Alaska, we got in a whiteout in a small 4-seat airplane, a little slow. And the 3rd time was when a drunk came when I was a pastor. I told him I'd help him. He's a redneck, hillbilly guy. I told him I would help him stop drinking. You never tell an addict you'll help him because they'll transfer responsibility to you. And I agreed to meet him at 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know he was drunk. I opened up the church, went inside, came with a shotgun and said, "It's your fault that I drank. My wife's going to leave me and I'm going to kill you." And for 3 hours we sat there. I made the mistake of not telling her. My wife was asleep in the bed. Made the mistake of not telling her where I was going, so she didn't know I was gone, really. I told her, she said, you know, she grumbled something, but she couldn't help me. Plus, I would have wanted her to come up there with him with that shotgun. I tell you why I was scared. It's about 5 a.m. when he started to nod off. I thought he was going to kill me by accident. That's when I was most scared. I'm telling you, man, in all 3 cases, I did not want to die. But I'll tell you this, I sure wasn't afraid that I was going to spend my eternity. There's some of you here that you're paralyzed spiritually, and the truth is, you're scared to death of death. There's a peace that causes that to stop. And if you don't have that, you need to ask yourself why that is. Not only is this man paralyzed, he has no peace, he has no joy. Listen, joy is this ability to do what I've been teaching you all week, not be controlled by circumstances. Listen, happiness is a feeling. Joy is a choice. Joy is the ability to say, I'm not happy. I'm not happy that we're having some problems with my grandbaby. I'm not happy that my daughter-in-law may have to have a C-section tomorrow. I'm not happy that my dad's got Alzheimer's. It's been the most awful experience in my entire life. I'm not happy that my mother's going to have surgery. So I got a father who's losing his mind, and I got a mother who's got to have surgery, and I got a granddaughter who and a daughter-in-law may have to have C-section, and a grandbaby that's in distress. Let me tell you something, man. I got to tell you, I'm not happy. But you know what? I have joy. Because joy is that state of being that says, I know who I am, I know who I serve, I know where I'm going, and somehow, some way, God's going to bring victory out of all this stuff. I'm going to grow, my family's going to grow, we're all going to be better. People always ask me what it's like with your dad. And I say, it's the best and worst experience of my life. They say, what do you mean? I say, it's terrible. Every day's our best day. He loses ground every single day. But I have learned so much about myself. I have learned so much about my dad. We have grown so close together. I have the satisfaction of taking care of my dad in his moment of need. And so many of you have come up to me and said, hey, let's talk. I've experienced this in my family too. We have an Alzheimer's patient in our family. Listen, man, people that have never come to talk to me come to talk to me. I want to tell you something. It's been the best and worst relationship in my life. You know why that is? Because you can only see it that way if you have joy. And if you're a paralyzed man tonight, you can't see it. Because you know what? You think happiness and joy are the same thing. Nobody gets to be happy all the time. That's why you get deep in debt. Because you know what you do? You go up to Walmart and buy happiness. And then as soon as you get home and really think about what you did, and the new wears off, now you and your wife get into a big fight because you couldn't afford it. You shouldn't have bought it, but you bought it because you were trying to buy joy. Joy and happiness aren't the same thing, and you can't buy joy. Joy is something you only get when you have a relationship with Christ. This man is paralyzed. He has no peace, he has no joy, he has no purpose. Suicide is the #2 killer of young people in America, second on accidents. Can I tell you one of the reasons for that is? Because we teach these kids that if they make enough money, get a good enough job, make high enough grades, get high enough up on the first team, get enough medals, get enough trophies, the American dream. How many times have we heard politicians say it's the economy, stupid? Listen, if you just have enough money and can get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you're going to be happy. And you know why these kids blow their heads off, many of them? Because they find out when they get the pot of gold that that's all it is, a pot of gold. And when they find out that we lied, some of them don't know where to turn. You got to have more purpose than making money. Most of the rich people I know are miserable. Most of the poor people I know are miserable. Because it's got nothing to do with the pot of gold. The pot of gold can't give you purpose. Look, if you're not saved tonight, I pray to God you never meet your dreams. You know why? Because if you don't meet your dreams and you got no purpose, then at least you can be the mule that's got the carrot hanging in front of him, and it'll keep you alive. But all you are is a mule chasing a carrot, man. You got to have a higher purpose than that. This man's paralyzed. He's got no purpose. See, when you get saved, you receive a purpose. My purpose is to know Him, honor Him, and to make Him known to others. And every day is an opportunity. Every day at night, I go back to the hotel, and I put in a Walmart spiral notebook. I buy them by the hundreds. I put the date. I do this every day. I write down one thing I learned about God today, one thing I learned about myself today, and one thing I learned about people around me today. Sometimes I write one line, sometimes I write 15 pages, but I do it every single day. If I can't go through a full day on this planet and not learn one new thing about God, one new thing about myself, and one new thing about people around me, then I will tell you something, there's something wrong with me.